here is one of my favorite features of the Detroit Foundation Hotel, the lights at the bar. So cool, y'all. All right, here's the Detroit Foundation Hotel segment, as well as the rest of the Commerce Design Detroit Award winners now.
When we design properties, we design restaurant and bars first with the idea that we want our restaurant and bar to be a destination for locals so that Detroiters are visiting us, and so that when hotel travelers travel, they're actually mingling with Detroiters, and they feel like they're traveling to a new city, but then experience what the locals experience day in and day out.
This building was the Detroit Fire Department headquarters building. It was built in 1929, and up until just a few years ago was still the fire department headquarters for the city. There's this richness that's here in the building that we brought out that's made even better with what we added. And I think that, to me, makes it really successful. I like the projects to be really rich and the experience to be full.
The biggest challenge that we face as we were developing the project is really to make sure we paid tribute to what was already here. We obviously added the modern amenities that people are going to look for in a hotel and restaurant and bar setting, but at the same time, make sure that we preserve what was already here and we can continue to tell that story.
We knew that we wanted to do something very design-driven, and design was going to be a very key component to the process and the brand. You can have great coffee at so many different places, but to nail the service end of it and to really create a culture and use design as kind of a language to speak to your customer before someone talking to them, serving them, I think it's been a crucial component.
The biggest challenge working on this project is really that there's so many coffee shops. It's a really flooded market. For us to really make New Order stand out within the area, we had to try something different. So by introducing these kind of bright colors, that was really something that we thought would make it stand out amongst all the other coffee shops, not only in Detroit, but also nationally as well.
Liz and Tyler are amazing to work with. The best clients are ones that really understand their business really well and are able to communicate that really well. Even better clients are ones that really trust their designers and their process to execute their vision.
So yeah, we started out as a fragrance company, and when we had the opportunity to open a brick and mortar space, we didn't quite know if it made sense just to have that fragrance audience coming in, was there gonna be a big enough draw? But since we were playing around with the connection between scent and taste already, it made more sense to have those two businesses be combined. If we wanted to do these pop-ups with cocktails anyway, why not have the space be activated for a longer period of time? It's open during the day as a store, but it's a cocktail bar in the evening. So we're getting two audiences too, and they're cross-pollinating. One helps support the other.
The main design challenge with this project was fitting the dual role business model in, where you have to accommodate retail needs with the needs of a functioning bar, and navigating on top of that the space. I think on this project, I really learned the full extent of where my industrial design background could be useful in interior design, where the small things matter. Everything touches each other. Everything had to be thought about from the beginning.
People are coming down from the street into the space. They don't really know what they're getting themselves into. They kind of peek in, and then as soon as they're in the space, they're very surprised, and I think in both sense for the store and bar clientele, it just feels like you're kind of in a different world.
Our entire experience here, one thing amuses another. The food amuses the design amuses the food, the space and the food amuse our staff, and our design is so exotic, and there were things that we did that basically allow you to discover the interior of the building and discover the restaurant, and people are taken to another world when they come here.
Definitely, I think there is different types of people that they cater to. One, there's a dining experience, there's a bar experience, there's a music and kind of nightlife experience. The ideas that we had here were a result of being hyper-rational about decision-making, and were generated through original ideas rather than borrowing styles or sensibilities, and in many ways innovate possibility through going back to first principles.
We created an ambiance and an environment that was basically first inspired by how we wanted to feel. And that's basically the first test. And I think that as long as we follow that compass, we're never gonna end at a bad result, insofar as we understand what it is that we like.
The whole building in total is about 12,000 square feet. We bought this building almost 8 years ago for $500. The long-term vision that we would not only have a space for our programs to run out of, but we could do something that was really transformational in our community, especially it being on such a very historic corridor that is MACC Avenue. After we bought the building, there were always ideas and hopes of how can we use this space to be the most beneficial to our community. And what sprung out of that was a coffee shop and laundromat and community space and literacy space and a little bit of everything.
We worked with MACC Development to identify one of the most important things being that whatever we add to the neighborhood has a wow value. It is marking its place in the city. People in the neighborhood were coming by to ask what was going on. And so it was really exciting to be able to tell them that this development group is committed to being here, and they're proving it by investing in the building and putting value back into the building itself.
You can have nice things in the neighborhoods, you can have thriving businesses, you can have high design. It doesn't just limit itself to a downtown location or midtown, but these can happen in the neighborhoods. Sometimes it takes a little longer, sometimes it takes a little bit more investment and creativity, but it can be done, and I think people have really responded well to that.